In this video tutorial you will learn how to set data transmission and switching devices control via IEC 60870-5-104 protocol. Next, we will consider setting the protocol in the Configurator software. Similar settings can be made in the Smart Monitor software. Before starting to work with the configuration, it is recommended that you watch the video tutorial configuration opening and saving. After successfully opening the configuration file, go to the System Parameters section, Ethernet Protocols tab. Select 60870-5-104 from the list of protocols, and make sure that the Protocol Enabled checkbox is checked for it. Then, in accordance with the operation documentation, we will set protocol parameters. The quantity of clients parameter specifies the maximum possible quantity of clients connected to the IED, the value of which can be up to 10. In the transmission type of analog signals parameter, set one of the available types. When the periodic type is selected, data transmission will occur with a time interval set in the sending period parameter. The time interval can be set from 1 to 900 seconds in 1-second increments. When the sporadic type is selected, the transmission will occur according to a change in the state of transmitted signals. When periodic and sporadic is selected, data transmission will be carried out periodically with the sending period time interval, as well as when the state of transmitted signals changes. If you select disabled, data transmission will be carried out only on request. The client timeout parameter specifies the permissible time when the client does not receive confirmation of data receipt, after which it is considered that there is no connection with the client. This time is set in the range from 1 to 120 seconds in 1-second increments. From the drop-down list of the data type of analog signals parameter, select the data type, in accordance with which it is necessary to transmit analog values. Next, in the binary data parameter, select the composition of transmitted binary data with check marks. In the same way, in the analog data parameter, select the composition of transmitted analog data. The base addresses of logic signals, binary outputs, analog values, calculated measurements and protection vectors are used to automatically generate addresses of data objects. Based on this, changing the default base addresses is not recommended without agreement with the IED manufacturer. Generated addresses of data objects can be viewed by generating a report on this protocol. To do this, in the Service menu, select Reports, IEC 60870-5-104 Protocol Data. The values in parameters transmission mode, ASDU address size, transmission reason field size, information object address size are defined by the standard. They are for informational purposes only, and it is not recommended to change them. The maximum quantity of APDUs without confirmation parameter sets the number of information packets that are allowed to be sent in a row without receiving confirmation of receipt. If the specified value is exceeded, the transmission of information packets is stopped until a confirmation is received for at least the first transmitted packet of the sequence. The last parameter sets the number of information packets that our device can receive in a row without sending a confirmation. When the specified value is reached, the receiving device transmits a confirmation to the packets. According to the standard, the value of this parameter should not exceed 2/3 of the maximum quantity of APDUs without confirmation parameter. This completes the setting of the IEC 60870-5-104 protocol. For the convenience of setting data receipt by the client, ED2 IEDs provide for automatic generation of reports via IEC 60870-5-104 protocol in MS Excel format. This report contains the addresses of binary and analog data, the composition of which is selected in the protocol settings, as well as the addresses of control commands. For setting the switching devices control IEC 60870-5-104 protocol, go to the section Switching Devices. Setting of switching devices via IEC 60870-5-104 protocol in most of the parameters is similar to setting according to the IEC 61850 protocol, so first we recommend that you familiarize yourself with the video tutorial logical nodes of IEC 61850 for switching devices. Then, we will consider setting only a part of the parameters necessary for controlling switching devices via IEC 60870-5-104 protocol. For example, let's set up a disconnector. In the position signaling parameter, the common value is selected for a switching device with a common drive for 3 phases. The per phase value is selected for a switching device with a separate drive for each phase. In the communication interface parameter, select the required Ethernet interface. And for the program protocol parameter, select 60870-5-104. The control model is selected based on the required control method for the switching device. Direct mode is used to control a switching device simultaneously by several clients without feedback on command execution. Mode with confirmation, select before operate, is used to control the switching device with the capture of control by one client without feedback on command execution. The disabled value is set only when it is necessary to display the position of the switching device, without the ability to control it. The option of adding and removing switching devices, as well as changing the type parameter, is additionally provided for the IED with Bay controller functions. The functional code can be viewed in the System Parameters section, IED Parameters tab. Then, in the Parameters area, we indicate the control command signals for the selected switching device. To control the switching devices, it is enough to indicate the tripping signal and closing signal. If there are no suitable signals in the drop-down lists of these parameters, or there are no signals at all, then in the Modules section it is necessary to check the presence of the corresponding virtual module of binary inputs, and also the pulse mode set for this module. The pulse mode is used to limit the duration of control commands received via IEC 60870-5-104 protocol. If there are no free signals in the existing virtual modules, you can add an additional module from the library. For the added module, be sure to check the checkbox for enabling the pulse mode. Additionally, in the logic diagram, it is recommended to make sure that the corresponding signals from the virtual module of binary inputs are connected to inputs command to close and command to trip in the functional control module of the switching device being set. It is also possible to reassign command to close and command to trip signals to the functional control module of switching devices. For more details about working with signals and the logic diagram of IED, see the video tutorial on configuring the ED2 IED's binary inputs, outputs, logic signals and indication and creation and testing of interlocking logic and switching device control. To switch the switching device, it is necessary to send a 1-position or 2-position command to the required address of the information object. The addresses of information objects can be found in the previously mentioned report IEC 60870-5-104 protocol data. This completes the setting of control of switching devices via IEC 60870-5-104 protocol. After completion of editing the configuration, you need to save it via File menu or by clicking on Save button on the toolbar. This ends up the video tutorial. We hope it proved itself useful to you. Thank you for attention.